Hi, this is Joanne Davies, Spiritualist Medium and Psychic again, and I'm delighted to be back with you this afternoon on my channel. If this is your first visit, then welcome along and thanks for joining me. And if you're a return person to the channel, thanks so much for coming back. And I really hope that the content that I'm sharing is of use to you. So, in today's video, I'd like to talk about the message when we are working with the spirit world. So in my last video I did discuss psychic versus medium and the differences between the two ways of working. And every medium in one shape or form uses some kind of process when delivering a message from the spirit world. Because if we didn't, then the content of the information, I suppose, would be messy and bitty and not connected. So in a good demonstration of mediumship, the medium will give evidence of the communicator first of all. And what I mean by communicator is I mean the person who's dead, who's in the spirit world. So for the purposes of this video, I will refer to them from now on as the communicator. And the person who books you for the reading or who comes along to the church for the reading, I would refer to as the recipient. So the medium will give evidence to that recipient, evidence of that communicator. And that evidence needs to consist of who the communicator was when they were alive. Because if we just talk about them now, in the spirit world, as they are now, that information will not necessarily mean anything to the recipient here on earth. They need to hear a description of that communicator as they were when they were alive. So that might entail negative traits, for example, of my father, because when he was alive, he wasn't a great guy, quite frankly, at least not to me and not to my mother. However, since his passing, I believe that he's evolved and changed in the spirit world. So often a medium will bring him to me as he is now. And because I'm a medium, I can accept that. I can accept that he's grew and evolved and that he sees the error of his ways. But most of your Joe blogs out in the street need to hear evidence that paints a picture of who that spirit was as they knew them when they were alive. So that information's usually past tense. He did this, he was that, he said this, blah blah blah. Then the medium will move their attention to the message part of the communication, or the reason why that communicator is coming forward. And sadly, many mediums slip down into the psychic vibration when they start to give the message. I think there are a lot of reasons for this, and one of the first things I'll say is that many mediums actually fail to realise that they're also a psychic, and they don't realise that they're being pulled into their recipient's aura and are starting to get information from that electromagnetic field and from the memories stored there. So they start giving a message and they're looking at the recipient and they're engaging with the recipient, and they start to get caught up in the recipient's life and their memories and their thoughts and their desires. And so they might give some factual, evidential stuff about the person here on earth, but that's not to say that that's a message from spirit. So how do we give a spiritual message accurately? Well, the main key is that you have to stay with spirit. So, if you've given the proof and the evidence that that spirit communicator has touched your mind, then don't assume that they're going to go away. They're still there. So talk to them in your mind and turn your attention to them when you come to the message, not to the recipient. Stay with the spirit and say, what is your message? Why are you here to speak to your daughter? And so sometimes that will entail evidence that they've progressed on the spirit side, that they see things differently. Sometimes an apology will be part of that because they want to say sorry for the errors and mistakes that they made when they were here. Sometimes the message will be about their daughter's life I see you got married after I died. I see you've had 2 babies. But the difference is that there will be an emotional quality to that information because it's coming from the person's father in the spirit world. And the medium is not merely getting it from their gut instinct psychically. The medium is not merely pulling a series of unrelated facts from the recipient's aura. In a true spirit message, the medium is delivering an evidential, emotional, heartfelt communication from a loved one who's died and transcended the physical. And that loved one is desperate to come back and tell their loved one, I'm still alive. I love you. I'm sorry. I still see you. I like the man you've married. I see you got married in Luss and I was included in your wedding ceremony. I see your 2 beautiful daughters and I know that there are stars in their bedroom and that you're reading Maisie's bus to your youngest child. That would bring in some emotional quality to the communication. And, often as well, our loved ones in spirit come with motivational messages for us here on earth. So it won't just be a random series of mundane stuff like, oh, you were looking at holiday brochures and you're thinking of going to Tenerife, or your car has got a flat tyre and you had it in the garage last week. There will be more depth and more of a story that flows. So, to deliver a true spirit message, stay with the communicator, acknowledge them, speak to them like an old friend. Call on your guides for assistance as well for that spirit message because your guides wish to help you to deliver emotionally, you know, well grounded uh, communication that actually means something rather than just a series of random facts. To paint a story, that's what it's all about. So if you like this video, hit the like button. If you think anyone else will benefit from it, please share. And please don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel because then you'll get a little ding-a-ling every time I post a new video. So thanks for tuning in and I hope you're enjoying the scenery as well. So take care and I'll see you in the next video.